welcome to Life Health More, and I am Karen Sullivan. I am pleased to have you join me today or in the replay. I know that lots of people watch my work in replay, and that's terrific. That's what I love about doing a recorded show, so that way you can watch it whenever you want to, or if you need to go back and remember what I said about something, you can do that easily. So we have been doing, in the month of April, we're talking about exercises, and I've been breaking your body apart and talking about how each thing works: your chest, your back, your shoulders, your arms. And last week I kind of got off the path. My scripts, actually, to be honest, that my scripts got mixed up. And so last week I did this week's show, but it's still, we were talking about duration and frequency and how awful. Hey, Laura's here with me today. So anyway, today we're back on what we're supposed to be talking about, getting our body parts together, and we're talking about abs and core. And with that core also comes a little of work with your derriere or your hindquarters. Okay, so let's go back to the basics of who I am, Karen Sullivan, and my website is lifehealthmore.net, and I welcome you to check that site out. Now, what am I doing? Who am I? I'm a personal trainer. I have 3 certifications, and I work with clients, and have for more than 25 years, people who either are sports. I work with young adults that are working with sports either in high school or college. I've worked with people who have had strokes and are recovering and trying to stay moving. Okay, so that's an important thing, exercise for them. Folks with Parkinson's disease, MS, any number of things that I have helped people to work beyond when they go to physical therapy. Physical therapy is part of it. And then the next phase is doing work that will continue forever after, so that your body stays healthy and strong. You stay strong and able to do things. And why do I do it? I do it because I care about people, and it is my mission in 2018 to help people become the very best version of themselves. So I am going to ask you right off the bat to make sure that you share this with some of your friends. You can just comment in the set comments below. You can just put the name of a friend. You can send it to them by email. And these videos are also all on YouTube. So I have a channel there also. So what's the benefit of that? Well, how do you know that somebody isn't struggling with trying to work through an injury, or work through a problem with their weight or their health? For some reason, the doctor has said you really need to exercise. People don't always share that stuff. And so it's important for you to get the word out, and it's my passion to help people. So please do that, share it. And my site, again, lifehealthmore.net. Okay, so you can get involved with the free training. So now we're going to talk about abs and the core. One of the things that I think is really interesting to remember is that when we talk about, you've heard the expression, let's hit them in the old bread basket. Well, actually, the abdomen is very much like a basket. It is woven together. You have, I'm going to talk about the major muscles in here. You have the rectus abdominis that goes from, way in the top of our body, underneath our rib cage, and underneath any breast tissue and the pectoralis muscles, and goes all the way down into the pubis area. Now, that's also where you get your 6-packs. Okay, those are those muscles that are 6-pack abs. And I have to take a little sidebar here, because somebody asked me today when they heard that I was doing this show, why is it that some people, when they get really lean, that their 6-packs are uneven, or they have a 5-pack or what? And I said, I'll tell you on the show, you have to watch. So hopefully they'll check in with us today. So what the truth of the matter is that's just the way you were put together. That's the way you were made. Your body was just made that way. And we have the same muscles, but they're not always the same strength and same attachments or anything. And the division in those 6-packs can be different for everybody. So that's why it's different. Not everybody can see, you can't see everybody's obliques or rectus abdominis. But anyway, that's the big muscle in there. And then there is underneath, there's attached the transversus abdominis that goes from the belly button, and it goes back and it connects back in the spine. Okay. So then we also have obliques. We have internal and external obliques, and they're the ones in the side. They're the ones that we try to work so that it pulls in and pulls our waistline in, sort of a thing. But they all work together. It's real important. There are other muscles too that are involved, all in that whole core stability. And so those are just the majors that I wanted to talk about. Okay. Some of the other ones are the psoas muscle, which is really not an abdominal muscle. It actually is more used, it's locomotion for walking, but the psoas is an integral part of in through the back, the abs, and goes down. It attaches to the spine, like right below the ribs. I think it's at the 8th and 9th rib. And then it goes down through and then attaches to the top of the humerus. So that muscle is the one that when it's shortened, when we talked about legs, I was saying when it's shortened, it'll cause you back pain. But truthfully, if all of these muscles, if you have issues with these muscles, all of them can cause back pain. So I have a pain in my back here. It's my cat. I didn't realize was in the room. So anyway, we might get to see Ava today. So anyway, so then with the butt muscles, there are the glutes. You hear people talk about the glutes, and they run parallel with the floor. Okay, they run across your gluteus maximus, medius, and minimus. And then underneath them are the piriformis. And I know if anybody has ever had problems with, what do you call it, like numbness down your leg or backache that shows, and it's sciatica. They'll talk about it being sciatica, but it can also be, I have to help this cat. Come here. Come here, come here, come here, come here. Don't meow. Just sit right here. There you go. There you go. Great. Okay. So you can have problems with the back because that piriformis is really tight and it pinches on the sciatic nerve. So, oh, Ava, this is not going to work, is it? So anyway, we'll try to get her down now. I apologize for this. The cat in the room. It's like the cat in the hat. So let's see. What are we talking about now? So then we're talking about the glutes and the piriformis. Too bad I didn't check the closet. I bet she was in the closet. So there you have those muscles all need to be worked together. So working the abs and strengthening the core is really important, and it can help with eliminating back pain because your abdomen is nice and secure, and it braces the back. You have that, like the transversus abdominis that goes into the back. So it's real important. So what do? What kind of exercises? Well, there are lots out there. I used to teach, well, I still do teach Pilates, and my Pilates mat work classes changed through the years after I took a class from Dr. Stuart McGill, who is a research scientist specialist in the spine. And so understanding the flexion of the spine can be difficult and cause, we're talking after repeated flexions, okay, can cause bulging or ruptured discs. And sometimes it comes just from incorrect behavior with doing certain things like planks and lateral planks, side planks, or whatever. They can cause a problem. That's why I have to remind you that it's really important when you're in a class with an instructor, especially when it's a big class, say something to the instructor before and say, can you check my form on this or this or this? Because when there's a lot of bodies to look at in a classroom, and we have some classes, sometimes my classes have like 22, 25 people in it. That's a lot of people to check. And what happens sometimes is I'm looking at somebody on the left side of the room, and the person on the right side of the room complains to me later that their back hurt with something, but I didn't see them do it. It happened perhaps when I was looking elsewhere. So if I know that I need to watch somebody, that they're unsure of their form, then it's great. Then I can keep more of an eye and keep checking over and to see how they're doing. That's important, and you do a tremendous disservice to an instructor if you don't let them know that you have a question about a way to do an exercise, because they can help you. They really can. They just need to know that they need to help you. Okay. So that I want to say, make sure you do that. Now, one of the things that I really believe in these days is doing things that do keep the spine straight, partially from my indoctrination with Dr. McGill, but also because I have had injuries through the years. Okay. So bridges I do, squats I can do, side lunges, lateral movements sometimes can irritate my piriformis. So without jumping into Thursday's class, I want to say you have to decide whether your body can handle the exercise that you're trying to do. It's not always, one size fits all. So you really need to know your body and understand when something is hurting you. That right now it feels like this. Ooh, I remember the last time I had that kind of feeling, I ended up with sciatica, or I ended up with a pain in my erector spinae. So you have to know yourself. You are the first line of defense toward getting injured. Okay. In my humble opinion, there are things that do that twisting that are also fall into that not a one size fits all. Okay. For example, I mentioned planks earlier. In Pilates, the roll up was something that sometimes can cause problems, but that's not for everyone. Okay. I always teach, okay, this is the move. This is the roll up. This is the thing that you do. But if you can't do it, let me show you the next best thing for you to do to help with your strength in your core. Okay. And it's so important, guys, because if you don't have, imagine a tree that's bending and bending and bending and bending in the wind and every way it goes. And the next thing you know, it cracks, right? Same thing can happen with the back, is that as you're going through life and you're walking across the floor and it's an uneven surface and you're doing, through a lawn, or you're doing gardening, and eventually the stability in the back is threatened and you get hurt. The muscles do this push me, pull you effect. I mean, it is quite an intricate machine. And the most important thing to do is to strengthen the abdomen to make the back safe. Okay. Doing that, I always remind people, brace your belly. Brace it as if somebody is going to come and punch you in the stomach, and you go and tighten everything so that when they hit, they'll hit the muscle. Okay. All right. So let's say when you look at people who have really flat abdomens, and ask them, because I know you always do, how do you get your belly so flat? How are you so toned and your stomach is so, tight? Sometimes they'll tell you, I do 500 sit-ups a day, or 500 crunches a day, or 3 hours of planking, or whatever it is that they say that they do as their prescription. I remembered hearing a story years ago where Paul Newman, who was always very physically fit, and he did work out. He did indeed. He had this ripped six-pack abs. And from now we know with Newman's own, he really was an advocate of healthy eating. And in addition, but he said once that genetics played a really big part of it, and that can be true. But what you need to know is, and make sure you recognize, is you can't necessarily do the same exercises that someone else is doing. I saw a photograph recently when I was trying to verify that story about Paul Newman. He said that he tightened his belly was what he did, and which is very much what I teach my people to do. And I found a photograph of him on a Roman chair. Roman chair looks, much like it has an arms of a chair and a backing, and it's just going on big, tall legs. And you go over and you just hold yourself there, and you can pull your knees up, or you can swing your legs up and down. And he was in this photograph. He was doing this Roman chair, looked like he was sitting on the beach, looking around, and his legs were out, parallel with the floor. And there he was, legs straight, there he goes, straight back, straight legs out. And he was just like effortless. His shoulders were strong enough to hold him. His abs were strong enough to hold his legs up, and legs, of course, helping out too. But he did have really good genes, which he admitted in a few articles that I read. Well, we might not all have good genes like that. We might have had injuries through the years, but you can do the best for yourself a little bit at a time, guys. Just take it a little bit at a time. Try to remember that you can become the very best version of yourself. Please share this with other friends. Make comments and questions, and I will be glad to get back with you about that. I hope that you have a wonderful day, and to your health and happiness. We'll see you on Thursday. Thank you.